Hello, somebodies. We are the Nobodies. What are we doing here today?
Today we are talking to the great Paul Crosby. You might know him from the band Saliva, but he has an awesome band now called Coldwards.
It is super nice meeting you, man. How are you doing today?
I am excellent. Woke up again this morning and blessed to have another day.
Yes, and you know what? We're on the right side of the dirt. At least we hope, right?
That's right.
Yes. So we got 100 questions for you, maybe 13. So tell us the story of when and how drums came into your life.
Well, it was a long time ago. Basically, my parents, when I was about a wee little lad, 11 or so maybe, adopted I have 4 brothers and a sister naturally, but my parents adopted a kid that was a couple of years older than me, and I really looked up to him. And he was always like playing air drums. Like, he was a drummer, but he didn't have a drum set. Occasionally, when we were at somebody's house that had a drum set there, he would play, and that's kind of what inspired me to actually be a drummer, because I kind of looked up to him, and he did that. So I kind of I wanted to do it. But also about the same time frame, I had discovered, I came to the dark side and discovered rock and heavy metal music and stuff. So it was kind of like the timing of both of those things. That's what initially got me into actually wanting to play drums.
Well, how old were you at that time?
Around 11.
Okay.
So it's got to mean something to you that it moved from your adopted older brother to you, to your kids as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I'm out of everyone in my family that I can remember, the only other person in our lineage that had musical interest or talent was my grandfather. He played guitar and sang all the time. So yeah, it's cool that it skipped on down to the next generation. My sons kind of picked it up, and they're naturals at it. So that's pretty cool.
Excellent. So you were in a band Saliva. So when did you meet the fellas? And was it a high school thing? Was it after high school?
After high school, for sure. I was in. I moved to Memphis, Tennessee in about 1993. Ish. And I obviously, at that point in my life, and for a long time before, I had it in my mind that all I wanted to do was, be in a rock band and get a record deal and kind of do it for a living and all of that stuff. So whenever we moved to Memphis, I instantly started looking for who were the best players in town. And unfortunately, all of those were already in bands. They already had a drummer. I was the new kid in town. So I just kind of at first started my own band with my own bands with people I had met. And then I had the goals of trying to get into some of these bigger, well-known bands. And eventually one of the there was, I would say, the second biggest local band at the time in Memphis. Their drummer had quit. So I was kind of like, this is my opportunity to kind of get in there. And I didn't really know anybody in the band. I knew of them because of just the music scene. So I knew some people that knew them. So I was like, hey, try to get me an audition. And that kind of worked out. I auditioned for that band, got in, and then so Josie Scott and the original rhythm guitar player for Saliva, Chris DeBaldo, were in a band at the time called Blackbone.
Okay.
They were the biggest local band. I mean, they also did independent tours and all of that stuff, but they were the hottest ticket in town. And I was in the band now that was the second hottest ticket in town. So naturally, I kind of wanted to move up to that that band. I had goals of conquering the world at that point. So Blackbone eventually broke up, and they started Saliva, as a local band, still way before, success and stuff. and they actually had another drummer for I'd say about a year or so, and then that guy quit, and I was like, wow, here we go again.
There you go again.
I knew, Josie and Chris and some of the guys. Again, I didn't know them like directly, but we had done shows together in the other band I was in and seen each other play and all that, but we weren't really friends per se. And but I had actually quit this other band at the time because my wife at the time became pregnant with what would be later be Zach Crosby, who's one of the singers in Coldwards.
Okay.
And I was 24, 25, something like that. And, she was like, look, the music thing's not working out. We got a kid on the way, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of I'd quit the other band and, told her that I would just, go on the straight and narrow, get a regular job, all that good stuff. And then I think about 6 months or so went by. The original drummer for Saliva, local band Saliva, quit. And one day my phone rang and it was Josie Scott, which was odd to me because I didn't really know him like that at that time. And he was like, hey man, this is Josie Scott from Saliva. Our drummer quit. I love your drumming, seeing you play in other bands. And I'd like you to be our drummer. You don't have to audition or anything. If you want the gig, it's yours. So wow. I was like, wow, man, this is my shot. You know what I'm saying?
The music thing, it's working out.
Yeah, my goals are all falling into place here. But now I had a problem that I had, told my wife that I wouldn't, play music and all that stuff. So I'm like, uh-oh. So I was like, man, I really would love to do this gig. And I kind of told him the scenario and I was like, can I get a couple of days to like build up the courage and get myself out of this pickle? Yeah. And he was like, sure, man, take all the time you want. Just let me know. We're taking a little break right now anyway. And I was like, cool. So a couple of days went by and I kind of like sat her down and she knew who Josie was and she knew, she was in the music scene with me kind of. And I told her what was up, and she said to me, if you don't take this gig, you're stupid, because I know Josie Scott is going places. So I was like, wow, that was a lot. That went a lot smoother than I thought it was going to. So then, of course, I called him back, and I was like, I'm in. When do we start practicing? You know what I mean?
That is so awesome. So you guys became a band, and you wrote one of your biggest hits ever, right?
Oh, I meant, yeah,
many hits.
We all co-wrote everything basically as a band. So yeah, all of the big hits I was definitely a part of.
Awesome.
So, kid on the way, you're joining a band, your wife's okay with it. Any freaking higher point in your life?
I mean, obviously, we busted our butts for about 3 years before we got a record deal and all of that stuff. Getting signed actually was like, that was the number one goal on my list of goals. And that happened, to sign to a major label deal. And it's kind of like, wow, all of these things just with persistence, and willpower, have come true. And then from there, it just got bigger and better. We're on giant tours, selling millions of records, all of our dreams pretty much coming true,
That's so awesome. I love that story. So, do you have any good tour memories?
Oh man, some, but a lot of them are a blur because we were young and we liked to party and
that's the metal scene, baby.
We were just enjoying the moment. But yeah, I mean, plenty of good tour memories, man. Like touring with Kiss and Aerosmith for 3 months was pretty epic.
Yeah, that is epic.
We played WrestleMania 18. I mean, just so many. There's too many to list. You know what I mean?
You just
you just blew my mind. Wait,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
After our interview, go to YouTube or Google and type in Saliva WrestleMania 18 and enjoy.
Holy shit!
Maybe we'll do a reaction to it.
I was gonna say, I know
that would be cool.
Yeah.
I know WWE was.
We opened WrestleMania 18. We're the very first thing that happens, and then we had also we did a lot of entrance music for a lot of the wrestlers. And one of them we did one of our most famous songs that people love is the entrance music for Batista, the wrestler.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
But at this point, we had done one for the Dudley Boys. I don't know if you remember them.
Mm-hmm,
and we actually, so about midway through, we actually go back out and play that Dudley Boys theme, and the Dudley Boys come out and jam with us on stage and stuff. It's really, really cool, man.
That's awesome.
I was gonna say, I know during that time WWE was going through a Limp Bizkit phase too, but I missed WrestleMania 18. That's an event I haven't seen before.
It was actually the musical guests were us and Drowning Pool way back, before when Dave Williams was still alive, their original singer. And that's actually how we met those guys. We shared the same dressing room, and we've been best buddies ever since.
Oh, yeah, that must have been devastating hearing that loss, huh?
Yeah, it was. I want to say it was just about 6 months after that WrestleMania, after we met him and stuff.
That was alcohol, right?
No, actually, he had a heart condition that he didn't know about, and he was sober when he died. But it's a misconception.
Yeah,
he had a heart condition he didn't know about, and he died in his sleep.
That's unfortunate.
Well, I'm glad you straightened that out, because I know there's a bunch of rumors that he was in a bus and he puked in his own sleep and blah blah blah. So that's good.
Yeah, he was in a bus, but he just died in his sleep.
Wow,
sober.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to your new band, Coldwards. So your children, what age did you stick drumsticks in their hand, guitars in their hand, and microphones in their faces?
Well, Zach kind of came out of the womb like a musical prodigy. He just kind of like he was also born shortly before the height of everything, so he's seen a lot of stuff, in music. He just has always just been naturally there. Sean, I want to say he was about close to the same age I was, like maybe 9 or 10, before he started asking for stuff. At first I sent him a drum set. I remember that. And, he asked for drums. I gave him drums and all of that stuff. And then not too long after that, he wanted a guitar. I think he figured out that you get more attention when you're the guitar player or the singer. You're right up front. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So
you're hiding behind a cymbal your whole life.
Yeah. See, I was always the type of guy like whenever we were kids and we would get our Christmas gifts, how my family did it was there's all the gifts, and then they would hand you your gift, and then everybody would watch you open it. You know what I mean? And I never liked that. I would always get my gifts and then go in my room and open them. So I always I didn't really like the attention. Being a drummer was also more natural for me because I could hide, behind stuff.
Yes.
So tell us about how you guys decided to become your own family band.
The way we kind of look at it is we're just a band that happens to have some family members in it. But honestly, it was during the COVID stuff, like when everything was shut down. I was writing a bunch of songs, and then me and our bass player Richie, me and him are best friends, so we were hanging out a lot, and I was having him play bass on some of the songs I was writing, and I was kind of thinking at first maybe I'll do like a little solo record and maybe get some other people to sing on it. I'm not really much of a singer. And then so me and Richie I would play drums on some stuff he was writing. We were kind of just hanging out and writing stuff. And then I was talking to my son Sean, and I was letting him know I was writing stuff, and he was like, let me hear what you're writing. And I sent him a couple of songs, and he was like, let me drop a verse on that. So I did, and it was cool. And it kind of just started like that. I was just sending him stuff, and he was singing on it, and then and playing guitar and stuff like that. And then we kind of brought Zach in to, hey, you want to? I was like, it'd be cool to have both of my sons do a little thing. So I let Zach do some stuff, and then it kind of just started. The songs were good, so we just started like, hey, let's just write a few songs together and maybe release a couple just for the fun of it. And then that morphed into let's make an EP. Songs kept stacking up. So we were like, all right, let's make an EP. All right, let's make a record. And then I was like, let me shop it to some labels. And then we got signed by Wake Up Music Rocks. And then and then it was kind of like, well, I guess we're a band. So
Wow.
here we go.
So what you're saying is COVID was a good thing.
Yeah, I guess in a way it was. Yeah.
It would have never happened if COVID never came around. Well, it
Most
might have
likely not.
somewhere in time, but
Yeah.
that it helped a lot because you guys were probably just sitting around doing absolutely nothing, bored out of your minds. I remember those days.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a while I was thinking, yeah, I've pretty much accomplished everything I ever wanted to in music, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, a goal I didn't think about was being a band with my sons, and
That's
then
awesome.
it kind of just happened. So
how'd you choose your name?
well, the thing about naming a band these days is all of the cool names have already been used before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really, really hard to name a band these days. And it's kind of funny to me being, I manage bands for a living. So I see a lot of stuff, and it's kind of funny to me that it seems like some bands don't even do any research. Like, we're going to call ourselves this, and they don't just simply Google and see if there's 1,000 other bands that are similar to that or whatnot. But I do. So it was really, really hard to find a name that wasn't taken. And at first, so, we were just throwing names around, and then people would throw names and I would research it and it's like, nope, there's a band here that has it, blah, 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 blah. And then I don't remember how I came up with, but originally we were going to call the band Coldwards, like hospital wards, like a psychiatric hospital kind of themed kind of thing. So we kind of went with that at first. And I even, the original artwork for our first record was actually kind of like a spooky cold hospital ward with a gurney in there and blood on the walls and stuff. But then I don't remember exactly what happened, but I was just thinking, man, I think it would be better if we pronounced it Coldwards, like cold words, like those are some cold words. And also I came up with my own definition. It's a direction facing the cold. So we're headed coldwards. You know what I meant? Which direction are you going? Coldwards. So it just kind of morphed into that. And that was also not cold wards or cold words. Neither were taken. So it just kind of what we went with.
No, that's really smart, because when I try to tag people, being that, we're constantly tagging people to show them reactions, it's like, oh my God, like, which one do I choose? Because there's like 1,000 of the same band name,
Yep.
Especially when they got the tree roots logo.
No, super smart. Super, super smart.
So, did you expect Coldwards to kind of reach the success it did? Because every video I see from you guys, hundreds of thousands of views.
Man, honestly, our goal was and still is just to make music together and make as good of songs as we can and put them out and hope that people like them. So for us, just being able to make music together and release it, as soon as we release a song, that's a win for us, because like that was our goal. So we didn't really expect anything. Everything that any attention it's getting is just a bonus for us. You know what I mean? We're definitely glad people like it, for sure.
Oh, it's good.
But that was never okay, we got to write songs and try to be the next Metallica or whatever. You know what I mean? If it blows up, great. And if it don't, we still win because we're doing what we set out to do.
Yeah, well, you're enjoying time with your family, and to me, that's a win in itself.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I started this channel with him because I'm like, you know what? I work so much in my regular job. It's like I got to give him 15 minutes of my time. And I'm like, this was the best way to do it. And here we are 3 years later. You know, who knew?
Still growing, yeah.
So, are you constantly trying to learn new styles of drums, you know, as you're writing songs, or do you have a style and you're basically stuck in that style?
Well, the good thing for me is that I was into so many different I was influenced by so many different bands and genres growing up. And even when I started drumming, I mean, I listened to everything from Garth Brooks to Cannibal Corpse. You know what I mean? To me, I'm one of those people where there is no genres. It's if a song moves me, I like it. And so when I was learning to play drums, I would play those songs too, pop songs, hip hop songs, metal, death metal. You know what I mean? Even country. Dude, I would even play along, not even just a few years back, I was putting on Adele's album and just jamming along to that, you know? So for me, I don't really have just one style. Now, in my Saliva years, it's kind of the same because that's what works for Saliva. But as far as the Coldward stuff, the stuff that my boys and they're writing and sending to me, it's a whole different style. It kind of forces me to have a little bit of a different style, which I like. I like a challenge. So definitely wouldn't be doing as much double bass and all of that stuff in Saliva. I can tell you that. Every time I tried that, the producer would shut it down. So
really?
I'm actually pumped that I get to play a little bit, you know, heavier in this band.
Yeah, show your true experience, you know, because it sucks to have a wall or somebody telling you, yo, you can't show how good you actually are. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And it kind of takes away some of your credibility, which I've never really cared too much about that. But it does kind of squash you and make it appear that you're not as good of a musician as what you know you are because somebody's always stepping on it. The good thing about Coldwards is we're the producers. So we do whatever we want.
So do you feel your sons have the same mindset as you there, or are they always trying to improve on what they currently have?
They do both. They do have the same mindset, but also they're still, you know, I've been doing this for 25 plus years. So they're still learning some stuff from me too. Sometimes they'll try to overthink and
you play dad, smack him,
and I'll have to be like you, that's
smack
not
him down.
You know what I'm saying? Don't make me take my belt off. You know what I mean?
Oh my god!
Still gotta show him your dad.
Yeah, I just have to kind of teach him the, you know, certain things like, you know, don't overthink stuff. I remind them that, you know, although we are writing songs that come from our heart, we also have to keep in mind that we're not the ones buying the music. We're not the ones that we have to kind of write for the listener as well. So you have to pull the reins back a little bit in certain things, but they're pretty open-minded and, you know, they're learning. They're great songwriters, great musicians.
Must make you proud. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So tell us about your friend, Mr. Wayne Swinney, the song you wrote, Flatline, that just came out, which
great song.
It's an amazing song.
We were
that breakdown at the end. What?
Yeah.
That was insane.
So
Wayne was the you know, original lead guitar player for Saliva. One of my best friends, Wayne and I me and Wayne were the last two of the original guys, basically in Saliva. You know, there's a bunch of member changes throughout the years, but me and him were the last two. So we spent more time together collectively than we did with any of our family because we were on tour for all of those years together. My kids called him Uncle Wayne. So a lot of people knew him as Uncle Way. But yeah, so, you know, obviously that news that he passed, we weren't expecting that. It wasn't like one of those things where you knew it was coming. And the boys kind of like, they sent me over that. It hit them hard too, because Wayne's known them since they were like babies, you know? Some of them Zach before Zach was a baby. So
Yeah.
They kind of came up with that, it hit them too. And a couple of days after his passing, they were like, I guess they were working on that song and I didn't even know it. It wasn't something they sent me. And then when they sent it to me, it was pretty much, complete with lyrics and music, obviously not drums and stuff. But, and I was like, whoa, I was kind of blown away. So I tracked drums to it. It took me a minute to get through it on drums because honestly, it hit me so hard at that time. I was emotional. I kept like having to stop. I was breaking down, So that song was full of emotion. And when it was being tracked by all of us, it was very emotional. So I think that's why it translates well to people because it's pretty real,
Oh, I knew. I saw it in the video. The way, like I said, the breakdowns, the chorus, the riffs. I was like, this has to be probably one of your most powerful songs because you know what? When you put, you could sit there and talk about drugs. You could talk about this, talk about that, but that is personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just right there brings it over the top. And
we could feel it during the video shoot too, man. We were all in a real connected mood, and we knew that the video was also not only the song, but the video was also going to be a tribute to Wayne. So we everybody was just synced up, and we wanted to make it special and cool.
So, question, if you don't mind answering this, was the video like a reenactment of how you found out in real life? Was it you were creating a scenario just for the music video? What was...
Yeah, that phone call. What did that phone
was
call?
it based on a true story, pretty much?
Well, the phone call part was my idea. I didn't try to call Wayne and didn't get it. We text all the time. We are actually just talking smack about our football teams just, a few days before that.
Go Bucks.
Right. Wayne was a huge Raiders fan. So like, I actually found out through Josie Scott. Actually, he called me and he was like, "Hey, man, Bobby just called me. Bobby Emery, the singer, the current singer of Saliva, and I guess he filled Josie in. It happened. He was found unresponsive on the bus, and they were on the road, so they were all there outside the hospital dealing with that. So Bobby just told Josie, and then Josie hit me up and all that. But the phone call part was my idea. Originally, I was going to have, I was going to be holding the phone. It was going to be like a shot of me calling Wayne, blah, blah, blah. But believe it or not, we got so caught up in the video that when we called it a wrap, we forgot to shoot that part. So I had the director add that in, in editing. But so we just kind of wanted to put a little bit of a storyline behind it. But that's definitely not how I found out by calling him and not him not answering. But there is the notion of I want to call him and I want him to answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's it. Oh my God.
So, what would you say to any musician trying to get into the business?
Man, the business, quote unquote, is very, very tough these days. It's a lot tougher than when I started to do it. I would say write music for just write because make sure you have professional sounding recordings and release it just because, and hopefully, or if it takes off, great. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I would set a goal just to, all right, I'm going to go and be a rock star. You know what I mean? It's extremely hard. I don't want to sound discouraging. If that's what your dream is, chase your dream for sure. I would just put emphasis on quality. Make sure the songs are quality. Make sure the recordings and the mixes are quality. Your videos are quality. If you're gonna go for it, do it properly. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, I think just make music because, and if it connects with people and takes off, then that's a win.
I think you're correct with saying quality because with the times today, every single person is putting something out. And with TikTok and all these other social media sites, like there are some good editors out there. And if you come out with a garage band type song and it looks like it's made out of your garage, yeah, you're automatically gonna be looked at as like, okay, they suck.
Yeah. If it's we recorded it in our bedroom and I had my buddy mix it, you're probably wasting your time.
Yeah. These days.
However, you know, my studio that I'm in, it's really my office / studio. A lot of our stuff was recorded here, but that's a different level because I've got all experience. If you know how to record properly, and you have people that you can send, professional mixers. I'm a big proponent of don't mix your own recordings. I don't care who you are or how good you are. I think you should always send it off to somebody else to mix and get a different vision and a different set of ears on it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, do you find that when you send it out, they come back and, you know, critique it, or do you find that they do it and get it done and move on?
Well, the people I have Uber connections, man, and the people I deal with, they don't have to critique it, but they can add production, and I trust them, and we work well together. That's why I still work with the same people. You know what I mean? You can record a song and send it out to a mixer that is top notch, and it still he may not get you. He may not get your vision, and it may not work. I've done that before. But whenever you find the person that, like, okay, this guy gets us, or this girl gets us, whoever the mixer may be, you stay with that person. You know what I meant? If they capture what you're going for in your head, because you could be the best mixer in the world, but it may not work. It may not connect.
Got it. So what are the future plans of Coldwards, and what do we expect from you guys coming up in the future? And what do you want to tell your fans?
Yeah, 2024. What do you got?
We are going to continue doing what we do, and that is trying to write the best songs possible, releasing content. We are in the works of having a couple of bigger known name vocalists do features on a couple of songs we're working on. I can't divulge any information right now, but our next couple of singles are probably going to have some pretty cool vocal features on there. We're going to just keep doing that and keep doing what we're doing. Like I said, man, if one day our subscribers and followers just start blowing up, then great. And if not, we're still going to do it. This is what we do. And our goal is to obviously, eventually start playing a bunch of festivals, maybe eventually do some tours. It all depends, if stuff takes off, we'll do more. And if not, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're happy doing what we're doing. And it just seems like each time it's growing a little bit more, and we're just going to stick with that. Nice. And the message for the fans would be, we really appreciate all the support so far. Please keep listening and share it with your friends, man. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's a big thing. And subscribe to these guys' YouTube channel too, man. That helps us out as creators big time, man. Go follow, like, share, all that stuff. But subscribing to the YouTube channels is really, really big for artists and however you say it.
Reactors, yeah. Thank you, man. That means a lot. That means a lot. We really do appreciate that you reached out to us. When I first saw your email, I turned to him. I'm like, holy shit. You know who just reached out to us? And then that's a feeling that,
hard to replace.
It's hard to replace. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I'm just a normal dude, man. Just like you, I got kids and we're just living life, man. I happen to have a cool job. That's the only difference between me and anybody else. I'm sure many other people have cool jobs, but I get to do what it is that I wanted to do from the time I was a little kid. So I'm very blessed and fortunate for that. But at the end of the day, I'm just a normal dude, man.
Yeah, we try our best too. We started off, just regular people, and so far, now we've interviewed you. We've interviewed Fieldy from Korn, David Silveria. We got someone from Breaking Benjamin. We got someone from Five Finger Death Punch. Mm-hmm. So it's like the list just keeps going on and on and on, and it's exciting. Really is.
Yeah, it's insane. Keep doing what you're doing. It's a win. You get to do stuff with your kid, man. There's nothing better than that.
That's it, man. What I mean? All right, so listen, we're gonna end this now, and we want you to be part of our ending.
Everyone at home, remember to hit that like, subscribe button, and tell us down in the comment section below who you would like to see on the channel. We'll try and shoot for it. Paul, thank you so much for joining us. This was very fun. Very much an enjoyable interview.
Thank you so much for having me.
And remember to hit the little bell next to the subscribe button to get notified every time we upload a video. I'm Son.
And I'm Father. And you are?
Paul Crosby.
Nice.
Rock on!